Hello, everybody. Disney Dave Neal here. I've got the Mufasa hair with the Simba charm, bringing you some updates on the Tayshia Adams Zach Clark split. It looks like it was Tayshia's decision in the making. I'm going to play for you or read for you some excerpts from a source in a article from The Sun, which obviously is pretty cutting when The Sun is reporting on this news. So we'll get into this. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and like this video if you enjoy Disney Dave, and we will get right into this story. If there's any other breaking news, as you guys know, I'll be reporting from line at the Worldwide Disney Resort here. So let's jump right into this story. We've got several aspects. Not a clean breakup as it looks. Normally people post when there's a breakup, oh, with mutual respect, we go, blah, 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 blah. None of that. They're broken up. I'll show you the Zach Clark's canceling some events. He's not showing any face right now. And we'll get into this. Will he have a source come out? You know, obviously when you break up, you know, PR, they want you to jockey to be the victim, or at least in the situation come out looking like you didn't do anything wrong. And Bachelor Nation likes to pick sides, as we know. Fan favorite couple shocked Bachelor Nation as they ended their engagement less than a year after his emotional proposal aired on her season finale. Of course, they use this photo like it's Zach Clark in a hip-hop album right there. A source close to the Bachelorette star claimed Tayshia, 31, was the one who called things off, and it was ultimately her decision. The insider claimed Zach wasn't on board with the split and tried to talk her out of it. He really wanted to make things work, but they've been struggling for a few months now. She put her foot down after she reached her breaking point during a big fight they had last week. They fought, which would, by the way, the timeline for that would be just after her getting out of the hospital. Of course, she was in the hospital for a kidney infection. Was it related to the marathon she ran a week earlier? No one knows for sure, but, you know, kind of looks that way. Not a doctor here, just a Disney character. The insider claims Zach wasn't on board. She put her foot down. We got that. They fought a lot, and this one was bad, like some of the others, but it just happened to be the fight that broke the camel's back. Their fights would start small, but unravel and explode, which totally makes sense if you're from Philly. I feel like that's a Philly way to argue. I mean, same thing in Massachusetts, you know what I mean? My parents taught me an argument's not over until the table has been flipped and the food is sitting cold. As for what led to the pair fighting, the informant alleged Tayshia felt Zach was very controlling and intense, which worsened as her professional success skyrocketed. So clearly, we got to take this with a grain of salt, because clearly this was written by Tayshia's camp. But you have to say, if this is someone close to Tayshia and she approved of this messaging, this is pretty cutting, and you'd think that he's going to have a side to tell as well. And I'll say this, the irony here, it looks like the biggest strain that was put on the relationship was Tayshia becoming co-host, at least guest co-host, of The Bachelorette. The Bachelorette giveth, The Bachelorette it taketh away. So you can't blame Tayshia for an amazing job opportunity, but could it be that the thing that ended up pulling them apart was the long-distance relationship due to her success as host of the show? And it looks like it could be. The more her career took off, the more controlling he would be. He hated not having her around a lot of the time, with her being primarily in Los Angeles or traveling for filming. It was like they lived two separate lives. It seemed like he was jealous of her too, with a lot of new opportunities opening up for her while he stayed in her shadow. Yeah, this reads like it was written by Tayshia's best friend. He ain't no man, you know what I mean? The source adds that distance was another issue, as Zach will never ever leave New York while Tayshia and her family are California-based. Practically, it just wasn't working. They've tried putting on a happy face publicly, but those close to them have known something was up for a while. And those that are on Reddit have also agreed. People have been calling this for a long time. Hey, a broken clock is right twice a day. If you're on Reddit, you know, saying that a Bachelor relationship's not going to work out, time will tell. It's on your side. If you're a betting person, you would bet for the relationship not to work out, because statistically, that's how it goes. Not only is it hard to be in a relationship, it's hard to be in a relationship and then receive fame and an Instagram check mark. I mean, come on. These are just people. These are some plebeians that have never had. I mean, she was a phlebotomist, right? She goes from phlebotomy. You don't go from phlebotomy to hosting The Bachelorette and not expect it to change you a little bit. Hey, look, just how it goes. The two had met in 2020 when Tayshia took over for Claire Crowley as the ABC lead for season 16. During the finale, she picked the addiction specialist as her final rose recipient, and Zach got down on one knee to propose. As he got down on one knee, the New York native told Tayshia, "From our first kiss to riding the Ferris wheel to meeting each other's families, nothing has ever felt so right in my entire life. You've helped me experience a love that I didn't know existed, and you've made me smile more than anyone has ever made me smile. I love you, Tayshia." She returned the sentiment. "There was one point in my life where I thought I would never get married because of all the pain and the heartbreak that I've been through. I hit absolute rock bottom, and I know that I told you that I love you, but sorry, it's more than that." As we know, Tayshia was previously married, so, hey, it's no fault for her to go on a dating show where it normally doesn't work out. At least in a relationship, wouldn't you love it if your last relationship didn't work out, but you became a millionaire in the process? That's essentially what happens. It's like, you might break your heart, but you're going to get a 401k out of it. And that, my friends, is late stage capitalism. Knock that off on your Dave Neal Disney bingo. All right. Earlier, I read your comments, folks. By the way, if you haven't watched, I've got a great video up with my interview with the Game of Roses folks. They are fascinating, and the interview itself is fascinating. Those interviews never get as many views because they're not as searchable as this juicy content. But I got to tell you something. Put that on next time you're breastfeeding or doing the dishes and enjoy our conversation. You won't be disappointed. However, shortly after their triumphant race, they did the marathon. Tayshia worried fans as she revealed that she was in the hospital. So we covered all of this. So they're just covering everything. We'll have to see if we hear from Zach's side. Of course, Zach remains, for the most part, out of the limelight, not really in the world of the influencer world, but of course with his recovery foundation as an addiction specialist, he does influence in that direction. His camp posted this yesterday. I love saying camp. "Tonight's group run has been postponed. We will be back at it soon. Happy Thanksgiving. We're grateful for all of you," which totally makes sense. He's probably going to be hounded by paparazzi and people asking questions. And a public breakup like that, probably better off to just let it go. Let it go. That's one day you're like, you know what? Let's just run in the treadmill for the day. So his friend posted this, which is a little cryptic. "A king with the wrong queen can't protect the kingdom if his biggest threat is inside his own castle." And of course, people were like, what? So whether or not that was in defense of Zach, it reads a little strange. People are like, what the heck? "I really don't think people post cryptic Instagram stories about a friend's breakup, so I feel like this is nothing." And then it's like, well, do you not know Bachelor Nation? It's never nothing. It's always something. And then I'll just read a couple of your comments right here regarding the split. As you know, we broke this news yesterday while standing in line for a ride at Animal Kingdom, which I have to say, the couple in front of me in line did not know the breaking news I was reporting on. They were like, this man behind us is reporting on breaking news. Something must be big. And I was like, no, it's not. Don't worry. Just for my ravenous fan base. All right. So people said, hi, Tayshia Adams and Zach Clark are no longer a couple. Wow. No ambiguity there. No, we will continue to support each other language either. I prefer this so much more than we will continue to be best friends and platonic soulmates who love each other deeply. Well, there's always somewhere in between. Like, you don't just go from saying I love you to bitterness, although that's kind of how relationships can work sometimes. Especially, listen, when a relationship can start in 3 weeks and end in a proposal, it can end just as fast. Those things that start quickly end as quickly, that old Chinese proverb. So bizarre that less than a week ago, she posted their marathon pictures and now they're over. I wonder if something major happened in that short amount of time or if this was just a long time coming. Well, if there was a cheating incident or something like that, I think we would know about that. I think that would kind of come out. Instead, it's just like, well, they had a lot of fights and they couldn't see eye to eye and this and that. I have to tell you, people are picking sides. I just have to remind you, they could both be good people. Tayshia could be a good person and he could be a good person. He's got a strong support system and base work-wise in New York City, and she moved to New York City, and then her career broke up. I mean, we have to remember, she was literally a phlebotomist, goes on Bachelor in Paradise. Colton's like, I'm gay. She's like, what? And the next thing you know, Claire's like, I'm going to take this guy on week 2. And they're like, Tayshia, we're sending an Uber to Palm Springs. Get here and bring up some push-up bras. And the next thing you know, she's over there meeting an addiction specialist. Life comes at you fast, folks. The point is, just because someone may have changed, that's the trajectory she's on. She's becoming a star. A Star is Born, folks, and we know how that ends. No spoilers. So we'll. Someone says super long connection, so take this with a grain of salt. But my sister-in-law is friends with a friend of Zach, and her explanation was that it was mostly logistics. He wanted to continue working on his recovery center in the East Coast, and she was trying to live a bi-coastal life when really she wanted to be doing media stuff like e-news and hosting, and they weren't able to live the life together that they wanted. I have to say this. They really should have tried to give this relationship another shot, I think, because I think her life's going to slow down real quick. Things might be moving fast, but it's like, even if you get a random gig at e-news and a random gig at Access Hollywood or whatever it is, chances are she's not that busy. I mean, gigs come and go. She stopped filming several months ago, Michelle Young season, and she may not be guest host ever again. That might be an opportunity that is now done. She might have to fall back on her impressive Barbara Walters-like career of interviewing folks like Chris S. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, I know people think I give her a lot of hate, but apparently the Chris S. interview that they did was a steaming pile of poo-poo. But, they're interviewing on Zoom. I totally understand. It's hard. If you want to see an interview on Zoom that's getting good reviews, go check out my chat with Game of Roses podcast. In the meantime, you all have a fantastic day. You guys know if the news breaks, I'll be breaking it at Space Mountain today. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.